How's it going, everybody? With all the leaks last week, it shouldn't come as a surprise that there was early access for content creators, so here we are. Blackprior's frame data. Most of you have probably already seen his movesets, so to calm everyone down, there are no 400 millisecond lights on this character. All his lights are 500, neutral as well as combo. On his heavies, only the top neutral one is different, meaning 900 milliseconds, whereas all other heavies are 800 milliseconds. His forward dash heavy is 600 milliseconds, it has variable timings, earliest is 100 milliseconds into the dodge, and the latest possible is 500 milliseconds into the dodge. This move has superior block properties which make the attack unblockable. The block frames start 100 milliseconds into the move and last a total of 300 milliseconds. His lights also have superior block properties, they start 100 milliseconds into the attack as well, but last 300 milliseconds. That's quite generous for a 500 millisecond attack. His running attack is 1000 milliseconds, might be alright for minion clearing, but other than that, quite a bad move. Moving on to what most people will complain about, his bash. It's a 500 millisecond move with variable timing. Once again, the earliest you can perform it is 100 milliseconds into the dodge, and the latest is 500. This puts it on par with Conqueror's forward shield bash, both in duration and timing wise, so you basically already know what you're dealing with. The soft feinted bash from a heavy is 700 milliseconds, no special properties otherwise, it's just slower. It follows the usual feint rules. Surprisingly, the recovery on that move is rather short, so if you manage to dodge it, getting a guard break will be rare. His zone attack might scare people at first glance, but it's only 700 milliseconds. The tracking on it is immense, which means dodging it will require some practice, both in regards to timing as well as direction. The surprising thing on that move is its guard break vulnerability. We're looking at a full 400 milliseconds. This does not follow the usual rules of other attacks, making this zone not completely safe against guard breaks when using it as an option select parry. So keep that in mind or you'll get grabbed out of it. And now for his bulwark stance. It is a completely new mechanic and I have a whole video prepared explaining it in depth, so depending on when you watch this, it might already be released or you have to follow the pop-up in the top right. As you can see, the startup is 200 milliseconds. The two different moves you can do are either the unblockable heavy, which is 800 milliseconds, and follows the usual feint timings. The other one is Bulwark Counter. It has a startup of 100 milliseconds and lasts for 300 milliseconds. Now, recovery wise, exiting Bulwark Stance gives you a measly 100 millisecond of recovery. This is really good for the Blackprior. Only when you perform the counter, then you get a considerably longer recovery time. So expect to be guard broken out of the move plenty if you overuse it. Same goes for dashing after exiting. What you can also see here is the instant guard switch when initiating a dodge. There is absolutely no delay. And the last important thing is a delay window between attacks. Unlike other characters that have an incredibly generous window to delay their combo attacks, Blackprior only has a measly 300 milliseconds. That is only 100 milliseconds longer than buffered attacks come out at anyways. This will take people a while to get used to, I reckon, so please be aware of that when comboing your attacks. You might throw out more buffered ones than you're used to. And that about covers it for Blackprior's frame data. There will be one more video about him like I mentioned before, but I'll also do the frame checks for the two pseudo reworks, Shugoki and Warlord. I'm not going to bother with Peacekeeper as those changes are a joke in itself. If you want to know more about the new character, feel free to join my Discord. I'm allowed to talk about him now, so all questions are welcome. Until then, I hope the video was helpful. Thanks for watching. Laters everybody.